guys, and welcome to the Body Mantra Daily Dose. Thank you for following us. So we're here in my fabulous salt cave. It's a little bit chilly, and me and Molly are cuddling up. So I have a little sweater on. Come visit us and sit in our salt. It's great for relaxation and inflammation, and makes your central nervous system simmer down so you could focus and be the best you could be to help and lift others up. Talking about lifting other ups, this whole week has been about mentoring. So every week we're going to have a new theme, and all the kids around the area are going to help build the theme up. So it's going to be to empower all the young adults, written by young adults. So I get their crib sheet and I make it the best I can be. So to finish up the week about mentoring, the most thing about when you start mentoring people is when you get a group of people that become your so-called mentees, you want to keep them safe. You want to be careful what you say. It's great to be an advocate, but the reason why they've turned a lot of psychology certifications now into positive psychology and teaching them happiness is that a lot of our kids today and a lot of our parents, we've had so many stresses in life that we're already broken down. We don't need to be broken down anymore. We need to be lifted up. So what we do as mentors here is we don't want to get into people's heads too deeply, make them cry, make them upset. I see people that come in all day that are crying and upset. They don't need help. They need help being lifted up, to feel empowered, to feel validated. I had a job once that the bosses were extremely tough, and they would make, and we worked with dying children, they would make employees feel terrible all day long. And then I would say to them, as the director of my position in charge of my staff, I have to always come, 4 steps back to get 5 steps ahead. 4 steps back to get 3 steps ahead, because you guys put people down. And if you learn how to make people feel good, guess what? Their central nervous system, as a science, stays focused and calm, and they can really get out and serve others. But if, a lot of people do this in the mentoring world, they try to make it like soldiers, militant. That's not what we're here for. I have kids walking all the time that are very upset and depressed. They need to be elevated and lifted up, because you never know if you're working with a child, a young adult, or a parent, the risk that they have already. You don't know their mental state. You don't know if they're going home to families and what their surroundings are. And I worked in Harlem, and the worst of the worst. You have to be very careful with your words. Having group forums, you have to be very careful. I was in a situation years ago where people, back in the day, they had these big groups, momentum, big things, and they would try to tear kids down and really get into them. But then they would let them go, and the kids would go home depressed. They would feel so powerful that the kids cried, and they thought they made strides because they broke these kids down. But realistically, I left one night, and unfortunately, one of the kids ended his life because they opened the kids up too much when the kids already have to feel. We need to seal them up and make them feel good. And if anyone's out there mentoring that's doing big forums and programs, be very careful that you have clinical psychiatrists and psychologists around and available around the clock for the people that you're mentoring if you do start getting into deeper than what your scope is. You can't have teachers and educators and other people facilitate big emotional programs, because as wonderful as they are, and we all love the teachers and look up to them, they are not clinical psychiatrists in psychiatry. So the one thing that I'm very happy about in my work is I'm a scientist and a physiologist. I teach breath and movement. I raise people up. I don't break them down. I already feel like we're already broken. We raise them up, and then we move their biochemistry through breath and movement. I don't try to analyze people. I stay in my scope. And if there is somebody that's really troubled, as a mentor, I tell my staff and myself, I am a resource management facilitator. I seek them to find the right help they need. If it's psychiatry, it's pharmacology. I don't act like I am the person that does it all, because you will fail. And I love to be very concrete with science and exercise and breath and movement to lead them to be the best they can be. So anyone out there, please be careful when you're mentoring people, especially if you have big groups. Don't go into forums and try to pump people up or break them down or make them cry in this, because we have changed, even universities have changed psychology programs into happiness degrees. We're trying to stay at the positive. People are broken down enough. We need to rise up, and rise up. Be very careful. Don't put facilitators that aren't qualified, even myself, in a position where they're going to have to break people down, and then they have to be in control of them because it's a lot of stress on them. Call out to the appropriate people. The number one thing in being a mentor is you're a facilitator. to manage resources, to get these people that may need help into the right place. So let's here at Body Mantra and Barre, we're here to lift people up and rise their vibrations, and we stay in our scope. We have psychiatrists, psychologists, massage therapists, healers, and we cross-promote to the right people. We don't try to do it all. Have a fabulous day, so let's rise up. But today I'm going to stay on my knees because we're in the salt cave and we don't have the room to fill. So like I said, every day repetition makes you the person you want to become. Inhale, your arms are up. Exhale, you're down. You're going to take your right leg back into that sun salutation. Molly, get into position. Exhale, you're going to go into that downward facing dog that we've been repeatedly going over and over again. You're going to come into a plank position. You're going to come down and up. You're looking at Molly's tush right now, but that's okay. This is real life at Body Mantra and Barre Salt Spa. Your other foot comes up. You're going to go through your sun salutations. You're going to ground yourself down. Use your unjudgments and then rise yourself up. Stay in the scope of your professionalism. Don't try to be everything to everyone because you will fail. And then you're going to sit down. So today we're going to bring our arms up and down. We're going to bring our arms up. You're going to lift back. A physical body mantra is repetitive motion over and over again. Because if we balance your body through breath and movement, you're going to change your biochemistry so your central nervous system stays calm and clear, and you could go out and be the best mentor you could be. You're going to do this about 15 times today. You're going to lift up holding your body weight, and the last one, you're going to come up and down one using your triceps too. You're going to do that 10 times. You're going to repeat the whole sequence. Molly's trying to lift the camera, gorgeous girl. So again, at Body Mantra and Barre, we're here to rise people up. Come here, my girl, and stay in your scope. Be very careful when you have open mentor groups that you stay in your scope of your professionalism. Make sure people are accredited and credentialed. Please join us at the Body Mantra Daily Dose. Do your physical movement and breath every day. Share with your friends. All these programs are written by the young adults in the area to help empower other young adults. But to have accountable and productive and successful young adults, us as parents and friends need to be accountable and successful and take extreme self-care in ourselves first. Have a fabulous day. We'll see you tomorrow. Namaste.